files when I first came onto the site to submit them as PNG. So it's weird that they ask an artist to submit as PNG. And if you don't know this about me, I own about 11 visual arts works, and they are registered with the Library of Congress. So it kind of makes me upset that they would pull this tactic, and I consider this completely to be misleading, and that's why I'm posting this, because basically it's like, upload your work and switcheroo, we're gonna take it, keep it, store it, whatever, and then you're gonna have an account on here, basically a ghost account on here, but you won't be able to, delete your artwork from here, anything like that. And then we're gonna ask you to also give us the PSD files, and good luck if it ever gets restored, right? So for that reason is why I'm posting this, because I completely felt like this was against the Business and Professions Code, for, false advertising, because I would show you guys a screenshot of when you go to create your account. You go to account. After you go to account, it's going to ask you if you want to upload any work. You're going to go to upload. And then after that, you will see where it tells you that you have to submit your files in PNG. If they wanted it in PSD, they should ask the artist, upload your PNG with a PSD file. And I don't know if you are familiar with Krita, but you can make your file into a PSD, but it's just more steps, right? So you can save it in .krita, which would be the metadata raw file for Krita, right? But then if you go into the PSD, that's more of a Photoshop type of file. So not every artist is going to create their product that way. A lot of artists use LunaPic. They use, what is it? God, I'm going blank right now. Photopea. They use, other things like me. I use Krita. Or they use, just different stuff. It's not coming to me right now exactly the other ones that they use, but a lot of artists don't make their art in a sense that they might even draw it themselves and have layers. I know a lot of people who take a picture of like their cat, or they take a picture of like a tree in their backyard or whatever, and then they'll put it into Photoshop, and then after they put it into Photoshop, they put like some effect into it or whatever, or they put it into LunaPic and put an effect on it, and then that creates a cartoon like piece of work, right? Or they put a filter onto it, and that can create like a certain kind of medium of art, right? So it doesn't make it less of art, because again, the art wouldn't exist without the person to have the idea and actions to make it, right? So there is that part. But I wanted to talk about the fact that I've noticed an increasing trend in basically companies that don't really want to work with you if you are in California. And that brings me to my last point, is that because they do not really want to work with people in California because of the AB5 labor law, which makes us now no longer to be considered like independent contractors, they now have to consider us as employees. So now this limits us. This is against commerce. This, I think, should go to the Supreme Court, and I think it stands to have controversy. So for me, this is very detrimental, because this is my livelihood. I make art for a living. Have been making art. I write poetry. I write books and stuff like that. And I even know my book publisher stopped paying out, and they stopped sending 1099s. And I know that that's like besides the point of this review on TeePublic, but I did want to say that perhaps, even though I would be giving TeePublic my 1 star, I would say that perhaps maybe it has something to do with these laws that they're making in California. What are my options, right? My options are to either invest into a very expensive LLC, okay, and pay quarterly taxes and have to go to a special kind of accounting through maybe like a Cal CPA or something of that nature. And yeah, I could do all of that, but that's more investing into something that's literally, yes, a part of my livelihood, but it's not the only way that I make a living because I also work and stuff like that. So I did want to bring this to the attention of people because they don't realize what they do. And every single time I see an A, B, this or something on a law, I'm like, oh, this law is coming just to just not do anything good for anybody. And that's how I see it. That's just my own personal perspective on that matter. But I did want to basically, uh, you know, put it out there that if you are in California and you are an artist, maybe it's time for us to move out of California since they just keep making the most ridiculous laws to keep everybody broke. You know, it's a state that only gets help if everybody's suffering and broke. So it just makes me upset that this is how the system works. But I did want to post this video, and yes, I would be giving TeePublic a 1 star, but because of the laws and because of the situations that are going on with the laws, I think I would give them more like a maybe 2 stars because I don't think that necessarily these things might be their fault in some way, but I would consider the misadvertisement or at least the misrepresentation of how you're supposed to put your files together to upload them to them would be, because I have some files that is artwork that I made a long time ago on an Acer, I think it's called. And my Acer basically very slow, very slow. I can still turn it on. I could still get like the raw files off of it. But it would take me like, 1 hour just to do anything on that because it is so slow and it's just dying. And it's like a very old product and all that. But my point is, don't expect every artist is going to be working on Photoshop for that matter, you know. And